And the first speaker I have here is Bev Dick from the United Nurses of Alberta.
Thanks, David, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here today. Although I think it's a shame, it's a disgrace that we have to be here today on a beautiful sunny day. I'm sure we could all be doing something different. But this government makes us get out and protest every time we see things that are wrong, and this certainly is. So I'm here to represent over 25,000 registered nurses, registered psychiatric nurses, all across the province. Our healthcare system is under attack, and the big shame, it's under attack by our very own government, people that have been elected by residents in this province, and they counted on them to do the right thing, and they're doing the wrong thing the wrong way. In the last few months, we've seen some really disturbing changes in our healthcare system. A few short months ago, we were constantly hearing about the nursing shortage, and that's because it's real. It was real then, it's real now. And suddenly, because Duckett woke up one night and had a nightmare, he declares the nursing shortage is over, and he seems to think simply by declaring it makes it so. Well,
Chuck it, duck it.
That's extremely frightening if he believes, and Ed Stelmach supports this man in what he's doing, believes that merely declaring something makes it true. Well, nurses are professionals, and we believe in evidence, and you know, he's not using any evidence here, so we certainly take issue with that. They now want to pay they not only are declaring it no longer a nursing shortage, they want to pay some of our most senior nurses, they want to pay them some money to go away. I mean, how ridiculous is that? There's been millions of dollars invested in educating new nurses into the system, and as we heard from David, they were out there protesting yesterday too, because the likelihood of any of them getting a job in this province is next to nil. So other provinces, and indeed other countries, are going to be reaping the fruits of Alberta's investment. We're losing these new graduates, which we desperately need in our system, and we're losing our investment that we have paid as taxpayers into their education. Shame on you. They did this in the 1990s, and they're doing it again. When will they learn from their mistakes? We have backups in emergency rooms, in hospitals, so they brought in the so-called overcapacity protocols, and for some of you that don't know what that ingenious term means, that means stuffing a third patient in a semi-private room that normally would have two patients. So reach out and touch someone has a whole new meaning. Nurses have been raising serious concerns about safety concerns about those exact issues. You don't put patients in lounges and hallways and 2 feet between them, or maybe sometimes a foot between them, and call that safe patient care. Now they're closing 350 acute hospital beds. The worst thing of all, shame. The worst part of that is they're being absolutely dishonest with us when they're going about doing this. They're spinning the numbers. They're moving patients that probably should be moved into full-service long-term care beds out of hospital beds. Most of these patients will end up in assisted living and without the care that they really need, unless they can afford to pay for it themselves. Shame on you. Yesterday I was at a meeting in Calgary, and I heard from nurses in the Nanton area, and they tell me there's a new assisted living place that just opened up there. They've spent millions of dollars on this facility, beautiful looking facility, and it has no basics, no wheelchairs, no commode chairs, and imagine this in southern Alberta after the summer that we've had, no air conditioning. That's torture. That amounts to torturing our seniors if you expect them to be housed in that kind of a situation with no air conditioning when you end up with many days of plus 30 in the summer.
So much for transparency.
Then we get to the Alberta Hospital Edmonton situation.
Oh, gosh.
They're closing large parts of this facility and moving patients into the community. This facility serves acutely mentally ill patients. Closing this facility is the equivalent to closing the intensive care unit at the University Hospital in Edmonton. Would they allow that to happen? And they shouldn't be getting away with it with the mental health patients of this province either. But they're a group of patients that doesn't have a strong voice either, so they think they can pick on them. First the seniors, now mental health. Many of the buildings at Alberta Hospital Edmonton are old, absolutely. But the programs that run out of that facility and the staff that care for those patients out there are world class. Lippert and Stelmach constantly tell us that the changes they're making are going to improve Medicare, improve access, and they're finding innovative ways to make improvements. More lies. How can closing beds, reducing staff, and downloading onto patients and their family possibly ever be an improvement? The government's using the recession as an excuse to loot and plunder the healthcare system and turn huge portions over to private for-profit companies, including insurance companies. Alberta was awash in billions of dollars just a year ago. And now we're broke? How does that work? Ed Stelmach says we have to, and the Conservatives say we have to tighten our belts again.
He just tightened his when he got $54,000.
That's right.
We did this the last time they bungled our economy, and are they expecting us to fall for it again?
No! He gives us $54,000 back.
That's right.
I think this government has a tremendous credibility problem. What about you? It's time Ed Stelmach stops hiding behind his high-paid henchman, Mr. Duckett, and come clean with the people of this province about what's really going on. Ed Stelmach, start telling the truth about your agenda. That's why we're here today, because nurses oppose the ridiculous changes that they're making. None of them are going to equate to any improvements. Nurses in Alberta and around the world support and fight for universal health care that's accessible and affordable to all citizens. We're going to stand behind you in this major debate that's unfolding in our province. Nurses will always be there to defend the right of people to get care where they need it, when they need it. Does Ed Stelmach want his legacy to be the premier that finally destroyed our healthcare system?
He's getting there.
If he stays on this wrong way path, that's exactly what his legacy will be. So when it comes to more health care cuts, we say, Ed Stelmach, don't do it. Ed Stelmach, turn it around. And Ed Stelmach, don't go the wrong way. Thank you.